watching Business Golf and I'm Courtney and Teshasit Sawadika. I'm here with Peter Walton and he's the founder and chief executive of the IACTO. So for those of you who don't know what IACTO is, let the man tell you himself. Sawadika.
Sawadika.
So one of the conventions that IACTO produces is the AGTC, which I believe this year was held in Pattaya, am I correct?
Yes, it was our second Asia Golf Tourism Convention here in Thailand, and we had 500 delegates from 35 countries, all working in golf travel, coming here to Pattaya.
So I'm sure it's very successful.
Yeah, it was only the second one, but it was already the biggest golf travel event ever to have taken place in Asia. So it was very good for Thailand to be able to bring all of these people from around the world, particularly the golf tour operators.
So how do we get involved in that?
Well, Thailand's still the largest and most important golf destination in Asia, so it was fitting, as far as I was concerned, to bring the AGTC to Thailand as soon as possible. And the main reason for this is to bring the tour operators. So we had 150 golf tour operators all selling Asia here in Thailand for about a week.
I mean, IACTO is pretty involved in AGTC, of course. Are there any other activities that IACTO do?
Well, we've been going 16 years now. AGTC is just in its second year. But 16 years ago, I also set up the International Golf Travel Market, which is now a travel exhibition, and it's the biggest global trade show for golf tourism. And that's taking place in a couple of months, actually, in November in Spain, just south of Barcelona.
Wow, so it's the same thing as the AGTC, right?
It's another trade, business-to-business event, but it's truly global. With AGTC, it's more of a convention. I just bring tour operators selling Asia. At IGTM, this international one, another acronym, we have 1,200 delegates from all around the world, 350 tour operators, but they're selling, you could have a British operator who just sells France, for example. So you get the whole gamut of industry there. And we have our Golf Tourism Awards there as well, where we're kind of the Oscars of the golf tourism industry.
So I hear next year is in China.
Yep, we're taking everybody over to Mission Hills Haikou in the island of Hainan. And that will be the 24th of March next year.
So the tourism in China is pretty big too, right? For golf, I mean, Kunming is pretty hit. A lot of golf courses and beautiful things. So what is it that you see that China and Thailand have in common?
Well, the Chinese are loving their golf just like the Thais, to an ever-increasing number every year. And everybody wants a slice of the Chinese market, but particularly the high end. And I think this is something that Thailand is getting to grips with now, because the tourism to Thailand is increasing exponentially. And that does put a strain on the infrastructure. So every tourist board is trying to attract high-end, high-net-worth tourism. So you have high revenue, low-impact travel. And that's where golf will fit in. So the Chinese market for Thailand, for me, I think could be very important for the future.
Okay, so can you talk about the event then? What is it about and how people can benefit from these events?
It's not a consumer event, it's very much for the trade.
Yeah.
So what we do is we bring the tour operators who are selling Asia, and as I say, we had 150 this year from 29 different countries. And we bring them to do business with the golf resorts and the golf courses and the hotels from all over Asia. So that's the point of the event. We worked out that the Thai suppliers, being the golf resorts and golf courses, had over 2,000 meetings with the tour operators this year.
Okay, so probably A might not B, so you're trying to make them get to know each other and probably have a partnership or whatever going on?
Yeah, still for a lot of golf travel, golfers tend to go through a tour operator or a travel agency who knows the destination.
Oh, okay. So that is the whole point of the AGTC then. So next year's event will be held in China. I mean, why do Thai tour operators have to go?
Well, it's the Thai sellers, the golf resorts and the golf courses that are most important. We had about 70 of them here in Pattaya this year. I want to get at least 50 to go over to China, because we've got to keep the message going and we've got to keep that business relationships very strong. We did an interview we did a survey with all the tour operators who went this year, and 85% said that because they came to Pattaya and met with the suppliers directly, their business to Thailand is going to increase by about 20% on average in the next year.
Wow.
Now you can't just do this 1 year and forget about it. You've got to keep
Yeah,
the
yeah.
relationships going, which is why I want everybody to come over to China next year.
So the revenue will increase by 20%. What about the increase of the previous year? Is that a higher number?
Well, I think 20% is a big percentage in any year,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't anticipate sort of having that sort of growth every year. What we want to do is actually see the tour operator sales to Thailand from new markets as well as the existing markets. So you kind of spread the load a little
Yeah.
bit. So if one market decreases, you've got another market that steps in. So that's also part of the importance of it. So it's that growth which is important, but also you can replace low-end tourism with high-end tourism, and that's what the golf niche market is about.
I see. So those tour operators, you must come to next year's event. So what if you want to get involved? How do you get,
Well, it's a membership-only event, so everybody who goes, whether they're a tour operator or they're a golf resort or a golf course or a hotel group, has to be an IACTA member.
Okay.
So that's step number one. But we kind of package it up with the membership included in the registration, and the Tourism Authority of Thailand is subsidising it 50%. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It's $650 total cost for the
Whoa.
registration and the membership put together.
So is that like a lifetime or like
Yeah, are you kidding me?
or by
No,
year?
That's per year. So
Per
that
year.
would run through to the whole, end of December next year. the
Okay,
membership.
but like he said, it's very important that you keep the relationships alive. So you have to renew it every year. So what is there to expect?
Well, a lot of hard work, 2 days of 30 to 35 meetings, 15-minute meetings back to back. So, you've got to expect to do a bit of work when you're there, but the returns on it will be very good. I think the returns on this convention are better than any other travel-related event where golf is a part.
That is very cool. So do you play golf often?
I set up this business because I love playing golf. I think my standard of golf, as you might see later today, has gone rapidly downhill over the last 16 years, and the number of times I play also has reduced.
Yeah, why is that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
A lot of people's lifestyle changes when they get more involved in golf. Some don't even play anymore, bored of it, or don't find time to play.
One of the things I noticed straight away, I played a lot less at home in London because I had the opportunity to play on wonderful courses like this one here at Rajpruek.
Yeah, it's probably too cold to play in London.
Well, we just had a heat wave for the last 3 months, although I haven't been there, so I haven't really experienced it. So it's not always rainy and cold in London, but certainly the 100-year-old courses are full of clay, and when that gets wet, it gets very stodgy underfoot.
Okay, so talking about golf and listening about all these golf conventions, what is it that you like about Thailand for golf?
Well, it's not just me. I think every golfer on the planet enjoys coming to play golf in Thailand. And it's kind of succeeded despite itself. There's never been a golf tourism strategy or a plan, if you like, on a national level at least. But because the whole package, it's the experience. It's not just the quality of the golf, the caddies, the weather, but it's the food and the entertainment and the fact it's very accessible from all key markets that makes it such a strong destination.
Wow, it's good to hear an international perspective that golf tourism is on an international or global scale. So enough about talking about golf. Do you want to go play some golf?
So why not? Let's give it a go.
So catch you on Courtney on green.